Hi, it's Michelle from Muffin Beauty Science, Chemistry PhD and Skincare Nerd. I talked about the ins and outs of DIY hand sanitizer quite a bit, but another question that a lot of people have started asking me is, how do you look after the skin on your hands when you're washing and sanitizing them so much? I just want to be pure. How do you stop your hands from getting so dry and irritated? So I asked a bunch of healthcare workers, dermatologists, doctors and nurses, including my mum, for their best tips on how to keep your skin happy while doing your part to slow down the spread of the virus, and I'll be sharing their tips in this video. If you like this sort of content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. First off, why do we care about keeping our skin in good condition? Shouldn't we just be focusing on sanitizing our hands as best we can? After my videos on hand sanitizer, a lot of people were asking me why they couldn't just use plain alcohol. Some people even asked if they could use plain bleach if they were happy to deal with the consequences on their skin. But it's important to remember that your skin is your first line of defense against germs. Not just the coronavirus, but other germs as well. You don't want your skin barrier to be compromised to the point where germs can get in easily and cause an infection. There's also the fact that cracks and flakes in your skin are really good places for germs to hide. So you might not be cleansing your hands properly if your skin is damaged. And of course, if your skin's damaged, then cleansers and sanitizers are going to sting a lot more. And that means it'll be a lot harder to rub your hands with soap or sanitizer for 20 seconds many times a day, which is what we should be doing to protect ourselves properly from coronavirus. If you start getting severe dryness and cracks in your skin that don't seem to be improving with the tips here, make sure you talk to a doctor or dermatologist and they can try to work out what's happening and fix it. But if you follow these tips, hopefully it doesn't get to that point. The first tip for dealing with hand irritation is by avoiding it in the first place, by using gentle cleansers and sanitizers. Almost everyone I talked to for this video mentioned this. My mum's actually been a nurse for 45 years and this was the main piece of advice she gave. For a while she had really bad hand dermatitis where her skin was cracked and raw and inflamed, even though she was using tons of hand cream. But then the hospital changed their brand of hand soap, and after a few weeks, she didn't actually need hand cream at all. Different people are sensitive to different ingredients, so it might be worth trying a few different products to see which one suits you best. My friend who's an anaesthetist mentioned that her hospital actually supplies a few options for people to choose from. When you're choosing a hand wash, there's a few things that you can look out for to improve your chances of finding one that will work for your skin. You've probably heard a lot about washing your hands with soap and water, but soap here actually means any hand cleansing wash. True soaps are alkaline with a high pH, whereas your skin is low pH and acidic. This means that if you're repeatedly using a true soap every day, it will disturb your skin's pH and irritate it. Soap-free cleansers use synthetic detergents, and these generally end up less irritating because they can be formulated at a lower pH. They still have pretty much the same cleansing properties as a soap. They will remove the virus from your hands and help it wash down the drain. They can also break down the lipid envelope around the coronavirus and inactivate it. So choose a cleanser with a low pH and make sure it doesn't contain soap in the ingredients list if you want to reduce your chances of irritation. In general, products with a shorter ingredients list will give you a lower chance of irritation than one with a longer list, because the chance of you being sensitive to any of the ingredients is lower. You might find that your regular hand wash is actually too irritating right now because you're using it so much. You can save that for later and use something that's more friendly for sensitive skin while you're washing your hands a lot more. Some of the very gentle cleansers that some dermatologists have recommended include QV Soap-Free Wash, Aquanil, and Dermol 500. A few tips for choosing a gentle hand sanitizer. Studies have found that isopropanol, which is isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol, is more irritating on your skin than ethanol. So choose a hand sanitizer with ethanol if you can. Sanitizers that contain moisturizing ingredients like glycerin have also been found to reduce irritation and dryness on your skin. Different hand sanitizers also have different ingredients other than the alcohol and the moisturizing ingredients, so things like fragrances and preservatives and thickeners. So your skin might tolerate one sanitizer better than another. Just like with hand wash, choosing a hand sanitizer with a shorter ingredients list will probably reduce the chance of you reacting to a particular ingredient in it. A tip that you might not have expected is that hand sanitizer tends to be less irritating in the long run than washing your hands. If you're in a position where you have to sanitize your hands a lot, like if you're a healthcare worker, using a properly formulated hand sanitizer with moisturizing ingredients, it's generally going to be less damaging than continually washing your hands. Of course, this depends on the formulas of the specific hand sanitizers and cleansers that you're using, but generally sanitizing is better for your hands because water is actually irritating. On to a few tips for how to wash your hands. Don't use hot water for washing your hands. Hot water strips your skin of its natural moisturizing substances much faster than lukewarm or cold water. After washing, pat your hands thoroughly dry with a towel rather than rubbing. It's important to get rid of all the water you can because, again, water can be irritating. If your hands soak in water for too long, it can break down your skin. And patting rather than rubbing will reduce irritation. Wearing gloves in certain situations can also help. It's also a good idea to avoid getting your hands wet outside of washing your hands. Water is irritating, and having your hands wet for too long can break down your skin barrier faster. So you should be wearing waterproof gloves when you're washing your dishes. Dishwashing detergent is designed to clean greasy dishes, not dirty hands, so it's a lot harsher than hand soap. You also use it for far longer than the 20 seconds you need for effective hand washing. Waterproof gloves are also a good idea when you're preparing food. Some food can be irritating for your skin, and having the gloves there to protect your skin means you won't have to wash your hands as much. When you're wearing gloves, make sure you change them if your hands get wet inside the glove or too sweaty, because that water can break down your skin barrier. When you're doing housework or gardening, you can wear breathable fabric gloves to cut down how much you need to wash your hands. It's a good idea to avoid wearing latex gloves because latex is a really common allergy. If you're in a place where it's cold and dry, Dr. Angeli Mato recommends wearing a pair of winter gloves outside. Cold air and exposure to wind can make hand eczema worse. Using a hand cream is a pretty obvious solution, so here are some tips on choosing a hand cream. There are a lot of good hand creams out there. If you haven't found a good one yet, the dermatologists I talked to recommended fragrance-free hand creams. Allergies and irritation are more likely to happen if your skin is already a bit irritated and sensitive from all the hand washing. So avoiding fragrance and really any sort of additional ingredient is a good precaution. Barrier repairing ingredients to look out for in hand creams are glycerin and ceramides. Dr. Adeline also recommends niacinamide or vitamin B3 for reducing sensitivity. She also recommends hyaluronic acid, which is an effective humectant for attracting water back into dry skin. If you're looking for specific product recommendations, a few people recommended NEUTROGENA's Norwegian hand formula. There were also recommendations for Vaseline, Aquaphor, CeraVe, Cetaphil, Vanicream, La Roche-Posay's Cicaplast and Lipica formulas, and Bioderma's Atoderm. Dr. Aegean Chan also recommended 3M's Cavalon if you're looking for a heavy-duty barrier cream. It contains dimethicone and it lasts through several washes. Several dermatologists also recommended using petrolatum heavy products at night. You can also use these during the day, but they can be a bit sticky and greasy. Another possible issue that Dr. Adeline pointed out is that petrolatum has been known to weaken latex. So if you're a healthcare worker, it's a good idea not to use these creams before wearing latex gloves. A few tips on using hand creams. Remember to apply the hand cream all over your hands, including between your fingers. Try to use hand creams more frequently, not just at night, but regularly throughout the day. It's a good idea to keep a few tubes of hand cream in different places so you don't forget to use it. So for example, on your bedside table, next to the TV, on your desk, in your car. You can make a few sets of hand cream with small bottles of hand sanitizer if you have it, so you can keep a set in your car, a set in your handbag, and a set at home, so you don't forget to take it with you when you leave the house. For a deep overnight moisturizing treatment, you can cover your hands with hand cream, then put on cotton gloves. The gloves stop the hand cream from coming off onto your sheets so that your skin can soak it in more effectively. If you don't have cotton gloves, you can use socks. Dr. Papri also recommends soaking your hands for 10 minutes in tepid water. Then pat your hands dry and then put on the hand cream while your hands are still damp before you put on the gloves. If you have cracks in your hands, a few dermatologists recommend sealing the cracks up with either superglue or liquid band-aid. This protects your skin and makes it a lot less painful while your skin heals. If your skin does get dry and damaged and flaky, resist the urge to pick at your skin. This can make your skin feel worse and open it up to infections. If you develop blisters, Dr. Joyce also recommends not popping them because the same thing can happen. Do you have any other tips for looking after your hands? Share them with us in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you to all of the experts who generously shared their tips with me. I've left their social media details here, so give them a follow. If you want more content on the science behind beauty products, you can follow me on Instagram and check out my blog. See you next time for more nerdy beauty talk.